Okay, Act 1, Scene 5. Hamlet has seen the ghost with his friends. The ghost beckons for him to wander off with it. And despite his friends' objections, he does. And we pick up from there. Another part of the platform. As far as we know, they're away from Horatio and Marcellus. Did they follow? Are they listening? We don't really know, but Hamlet tried to keep them away. So enter Ghost and Hamlet.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak! I'll go no further!
Mark me.
It speaks.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost!
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am...
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear. You will want to have revenge when you hear what I'm going to have to tell you.
Thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold, whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and binded locks to part, and each particular hair to stand an end, like quills upon the fretful porpentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, list, oh, list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love,
Oh, God!
revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Whoa, okay, so he did not die in warfare. Revenge, or avenge, we might say, my most unnatural, interesting word choice there, murder. I was murdered. He's going to explain how. Before that, he goes into kind of a sort of detailed, yet kind of vague description of whatever existence he's leading and wherever he is. Maybe not exactly hell, but something kind of in between. If you think about, older Christian beliefs, what kind of place that might be. Anyway, what in the world happened?
Murder!
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I, with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love, may sweep to my revenge.
I found thee apt, and duller shouldst thou be when the fat weed roots itself in ease on lethal wharf, wouldst thou not stir in this. Now, Hamlet, here, 'tis given out that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me, so the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
Aye, that incestual...
We probably suspected this, but it's still kind of shocking and gross and despicable, right? So first he gives an explanation of, or rather he summarizes the explanation that's been given out that we would think that Hamlet would know. 'Tis given out that this is what happened. And then through a metaphor, a very apt metaphor, he tells him who actually killed him, which you might have surmised or might have been told and spoiled that was Claudius. It kind of all adds up, right? And then he goes and marries his brother's wife and takes the crown. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes, that adulterate beast with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, wicked autumn gifts that have the power so to seduce, won to his shameful lust the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there! From me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand, even with the vow I made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. And virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness caught it in a shape of heaven, So lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage.
I think he might have just called Gertrude garbage.
But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always in the afternoon. Upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Lebanon in a vial, and in the porches of mine ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigour it doth posset and curge like eager droppings into milk, with thin and wholesome blood.
This is kind of strange, because normally you wouldn't have a person be able to give a graphic description of how they died. And of course his son, listening to him describe this.
So did it not. And a most instant tetter barked about, most leather-like, with vile and loathsome crust, all my smooth body. Thus was I sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, unhoused, disappointed, unannealed.
Okay, so we're getting into some kind of older, sometimes even current Christian religious beliefs there. At the last sacraments, last rites, right? Unhoused, disappointed, unnailed. If you don't receive those, then you're not going to have a clear path to heaven, which might seem kind of silly to us, right? Because it's not his fault, right? But that is something that they would have believed, right? And that explains why maybe he's in some sort of kind of purgatory existence, foul and unnatural murder. And speaking of unnatural murder, like a brother killing a brother, what kind of allusion is that? What does that kind of allude to? Speaking of the Bible, that's kind of depth and resonance to that whole phenomenon.
No reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible, most horrible. If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her.
Interesting. Leave her to heaven. In other words, leave her to the judgment of God, right? I want you to concentrate on Claudius.
Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and begins to pale his ineffectual fires. Adieu, Hamlet, remember me.
Oh, all you host of heaven, oh earth, what else? And shall I couple hell, O fie, hold my heart, and you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee, aye, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee, yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all sores of books, all forms, all pressures past that youth and observation copied there.
You notice how ironic Hamlet is all the time. I would almost kind of direct that different from how Kenneth Branagh does it here. What do I know? But the way he repeats "remember me," like remember me, remember, like he's echoing what the ghost of his father said, but almost in a mocking way, right? At least in an ironic way. Like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to have any trouble remembering this, Dad, right? Remember me? Yeah, I'm going to remember this all the time, the rest of my life. I'm not going to forget this. Of course not. Remember me? Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
And thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven. Oh, most pernicious woman.
By the way, this is what we're considering the second soliloquy. There's a question that references soliloquies in, I guess it's 2 and 5. Yeah, and this is the one in scene 5.
Oh, villain, smiling, dominant villain. My tables. Meet it is, I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I am sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word, it is adieu, adieu. Remember me. I have sworn. My lord! My lord! My lord!
Okay, so his friends come running back. They've caught up with him. Were they hiding? Did they hear any of this? We don't really know.
Lord Hamlet! Heaven secure him! So be it. Ho, ho! My lord! Hello? Oh, boy! Come, bird, come! How is my noble lord? What news, my lord? Oh, wonderful. Good, my lord, tell it. No, you will reveal it. Not I, my lord, by heaven. Nor I, my lord. How say you then? Would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret. Aye, by heaven, my lord. There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an arrant knave. There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this. Why, right, you were in the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You as your business and desire shall point you, for every man hath business and desire, such as it is, and for my own poor part, look you, I'll go pray. These are...
What in the world is he doing here? Acting kind of merry? Kind of crazy?
But wild and whirling words, my lord. I'm sorry they offend you. Heartily, yes, faith, heartily. There's no offence, my lord. Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offence too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you.
Okay, so there's a lot of dramatic irony here, right? Because we know, and again, that's when we know something that other characters don't. Assuming that Horatio and Marcellus didn't overhear the conversation, Hamlet is almost kind of talking to himself, and then we can kind of hear him talking to himself because he makes the joke about offense, right? There's no offense, and I didn't mean any offense. And Hamlet's saying, "Oh, there's plenty of offense, believe me," right? And we're like, "Ha ha ha, yeah, we know what the offense was, right? It's an honest ghost, let me tell you that, right? But it's bitter, it's not ha ha joking, it's ironic, bitter, cynical joking. I keep thinking about Hamlet's character. He seems to do this a lot.
For your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request. What is, my lord? We will. Never make known what you have seen tonight. My lord. We will not. Nay, but swear it. In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed.
Swear.
Boy, sayest thou so? Art thou there, true penny? Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage? Consent to swear. Propose the oath, my lord. Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Kind of weird scene here. Do they hear the fellow in the cellarage, the guy underground, the ghost, who doesn't seem to be making an appearance now? They're not seeing him. And Hamlet is hearing him. Are Horatio and Marcellus hearing him? Because if not, does that mean this could all be in Hamlet's head? Is he losing his mind? A lot of ambiguity, for sure, in this scene. But he's trying to get them to make a solemn oath to not tell anything that they saw tonight. Not that they saw the last half of it anyway, as far as we know.
We swear. Hic et ubique. Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again upon my sword. Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword.
Swear by his sword.
We swear. Well said, old mole. Canst work in the earth so fast. A worthy pioneer. Once more, remove, good friends. Go day and night.
But this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. But come, here as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on.
Check your footnotes and think about that line. It has to do with one of our questions. He's going to put on an antic disposition. What's that, and why would he do that?
You, at such times seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or thus head shaked, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase, as well we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or they be, and if they might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you.
In other words, don't ever let on that you know anything about this. He really is determined to make sure they don't say anything.
Swear.
We swear.
Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friending to you, God willing, shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
End of scene, end of act. Notice that at the end of really dramatic scenes, and especially at the end of an act, you might have what's called a rhyming couplet. Okay, so most of the time it's what we call blank verse, which means it's an iambic pentameter, but it's not really rhyming. Okay, but he draws attention to certain lines when he rhymes because it seems purposeful and it sticks out. Right, the time is out of joint. I think you could probably infer that what he means by that is something similar to something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Right, things are messed up, right? Stuff is totally messed up. The time is out of joint, oh cursed spite, anger, that ever I was born to set it right. Like, why do I have to be in this position? This is so messed up, right? I probably felt like that before. So it draws your attention to the whole predicament that he's in, how he's handling it. Keep thinking about character as we go, and definitely think about the things that I talked about to kind of come up with some good reader's logs about Hamlet's character so far. You can reach out to other stuff too, but we kind of concentrate on character for this first act. All right, next stop, Act 2.